Hello, and welcome to another vanilla speed coloring video. My name is Amy Shulke, and I'm the artist and illustrator behind vanillaarts.com. The Tulips and Ribbon image is part of my free Digi Club. Download it for free during the month of March 2018. Subscribe at my website, vanillaarts.com. So here's that tulip project, fully completed, and it took me just under 2 hours to color. We are joining this project in progress. I've reserved the background process to make it an exclusive part of the online Tulips and Ribbon class. So take the class and you'll get full details on how to create this style of textural, abstract background. The Tulips and Ribbon class is actually the second go-around for me. This was my very first online class ever, back in 2014, over at Patreon. For this reissued version, I've changed the color palette slightly to make this an easier project than some of my other more recent workshop classes. Tulips and Ribbon is a great introduction to my teaching style, and it's now perfect for beginners who are ready for a challenge or for intermediates who haven't yet tackled larger or more complex images. You'll notice that I use odd blending combinations, like this blue underneath my greens. This is a process called underpainting, which is stolen directly from classical oil painting techniques and the techniques that I use in watercolor. Underpainting gives me richer colors, but it also gives me more accurate looking shade. Getting the shade right is key to creating depth, dimension, and ultimately realism. You can't get this kind of dimension using 3 green markers. You have to have something underneath the green to provide a bit of structure or backbone to the object. Later, you'll see me using colored pencils that almost match the underpainting colors. And again, I won't be using the colors that you expect. That's me strengthening the underpainting color to correct and improve the depth and the shape of each object. The underpainting process is part of what sets my classes apart from regular coloring classes. We're doing more than filling in the spaces with smooth blends and pretty markers. My goal is to get you coloring with good, solid, painterly techniques. The kind of techniques that as you improve and move towards advanced coloring, these techniques will allow you to get incredibly accurate and lifelike realism. As I move into the white areas of this image, you may be surprised to see me using some rather potent color. And yet, in the end, despite all the blue and blue violets that I'm using, the ribbon and the tulip petals will still read as white objects. That's the important lesson behind the Tulips and Ribbon online class. White objects are hardly ever pure white. In this class, we'll explore how artists use color to create dynamic and lifelike whites, which are anything but flat. Because if there's one sure rule in coloring, if you leave something white, it will look flat, flat, flat. I have 2 different kinds of online courses. If you like the Forever Access style of class, check out my marker painting workshops. And if you prefer a monthly subscription, I teach a new Power Poppy stamp every month in my live stream classes. Drawing details can be intimidating for many colorers. I'll take some of the stress out of the checkerboard process, showing you how to adjust the scale of your pattern to fit the ribbon. The ribbon bends and sways, and if you draw perfect little squares, they're going to flatten out that ribbon and make it look artificial. Now we're moving to the petals, and just like the ribbon, these white petals are anything but white. In fact, my goal here is to minimize the amount of white paper shining through. We'll talk about why I do this during the petal portions of the online class. And yes, that's a colorless blender I'm using here. Yep, mine has a stained nib. That's graphite from pencils, and I pick it up when I color over my pencil drawings. The nib may be gray, but it's never once transferred color to any of my projects. So don't panic if something similar happens to your marker nibs. They may get a little ugly, but graphite will not hurt anything. All of my online classes are technically mixed media projects. I combine marker with colored pencil or pen. I combine watercolor with colored pencil. That's because my years as an illustrator have taught me to use the best medium for each task. When I want precise detail, why fight a big fat juicy marker when you've got tiny detail pens or colored pencils, which are so much easier to control? There's an added bonus to using colored pencil over marker. Unlike marker ink, we can erase colored pencil mistakes. This gives us the freedom to experiment and play with our pencils in a way that's not as scary as permanent marker ink. If you experiment with a pink pencil and you don't like the way it looks, you can always erase it and try again. For me, colored pencils are the icing on the cake, and that's part of the reason why I'm not using green pencils on green areas and bluish-violet pencils where there's blue-violet marker. You wouldn't put carrot-flavored frosting on top of your carrot cake, right? It's the combination of carrot cake to cream cheese frosting that makes for an interesting taste. And it's the play of colored pencil over marker that make for more artistic-looking projects. Join me for the Tulips and Ribbon online class and learn how to create colorful and dynamic white objects. There's a method to my madness, and I can't wait to share it with you. You can do this.